This week, a FIT gets sandwiched at Laguna. I dive the entire field at Sardegna. And I show you why you should not use the Megaton Trophy. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Gran Turismo Weekly Race Guide here in 2022. It's week 6 and as you can probably tell by my voice, I'm a little bit ill. In the background you can see the Honda Fit, so I'm not quite that at the moment, that is for sure. Before we get into that, how many days are there until Gran Turismo 7? And hopefully I will be feeling better by this point, but there are 25 days to go until GT7 releases. We certainly had some interesting looks in State of Play and some videos to come in terms of GT7. But it's GT Sport. We're here. We're now. Let's have a look at the race details because we are in the Honda Fit. So we are at Laguna Seca. Let's have a gander. We're racing 4 laps here at Laguna Seca. It's a good start with track control on 1 and we're on the sports hard tyres. Nice and easy. In terms of time reference points, if you want to jump to any part of this video, they're in the background now. So just feel free to jump to that race if there's a particular race you're interested in. But in terms of racing, we're going to jump to race A now. Let's have a look at exactly what happens and I'll talk you through a little bit of a guide as well. Here we are then at the start. Flash away, but do not rev your engine. For the first time ever, I'm telling you not to rev your engine. You will be using your hybrid if you do, and I made that mistake already when we jumped to the car. Brake balance, I'll put on 0. I did try +5 at the end, just in case that helps. It might help with brake balance. Sorry, the hybrid, I'm not too sure. But look how much hybrid I've used already. So be careful. Traction control on 1, and be careful. You have to change gear very quickly there. And we then knock it down to 0. We still get a fairly okay start compared to everybody else. As we're going to head down towards turn 1 then. Well, technically it's turn 2 because that's turn 1 there. But even so, in towards the first corner, I was a bit scared here because the braking is a bit odd in this car. It just brake quite well, to be honest with you. As, my Elgato also not fit, apparently. We are going to have a few of those frame stutters throughout this video. I'm not sure why the Elgato's done that. But hey, we're up to P5. Let's forget about that. We move on. Now, the French driver here pushes his way through and me off to the realms. I wasn't very happy with that. I'm not sure if they realised it was just a bit overly aggressive. But we fell in then to P7. As you see, that hybrid's gone down quite quickly. So during this race, I do try and get it back up again by just lifting in places, which you can do. But I'll explain that in the guide as well. Let's go into here then at P7, which is line astern at the moment. Although it looks like somebody's run a little bit deep there in P3. That's Archie. And we're going to head up towards this quick left-hander. This is one that you can get wrong quite easily here. But it is flat actually in this car. I don't do it flat here, but it is flat. It's flat in time trial, and that's where you will do it. So Archie's had a bit of a mess there. Obviously, we saw them go deep into the left-hander. They've had a bit of a mess in that corner as well. So we're going to try and follow Adrian through up into the corkscrew, then in towards the braking zone we go. And Adrian turns in a little bit too soon there. Causes a bit of an issue for us, so we have to brake sharply there. Me and Archie come together. Archie apologised for that. There was no need to apologise. Side-by-side racing there. But Adrian there gets a penalty for cutting it a little bit too tight there into the corkscrew. Let's advance a bit further on then. And let's see what happens with these penalties. So they're 3 wide up ahead. I'm not sure whether the Spaniards and Frenchmen don't like each other. I'm not too sure, but the French driver goes through. I was thinking about going through there, but I was like, that's a bit of a lunge and a half. Bit too much for me. Again, apologies for that frame freeze. Not sure what's happening today. I'm ill. The Elgato's ill, apparently. And I have a Gigantor in my conservatory. How about that one? But we'll continue on then to lap number 3. We're going to go into a lap guide here as well. In fact, it's going on to the final lap. Because it was just line astern for the majority of that. So heading down here, you can lift off at this point, gain a bit of hybrid. But what you're actually looking to do is look for that number 2 board. Yes, we are braking very late here. The number 2 board is your brake marker, and you're going to drop down to 3rd gear. And you're going to see how well this car just started. It stops on a 6pence. It's unusual for a road car to do that. I'm assuming they've sort of coded it so that the hybrid is actually stopping the car as well, like the one drive pedal thing that exists in the cars. This right-hander, you just lift for this. You don't brake for it at all. Just lift, go around. It's an easy corner in 4th gear. Nice and simple for a change. And again, this corner here, literally it's no lifting. It's just turn in and go for it. You might run a little bit wide here, so just be careful of that. And don't be in 5th gear. It's 4th gear, not 5th. As you see, I'm dropping off here because I am in that 5th gear. Now this left-hander, once again, we're looking for the number 2 board there on the right-hand side. So we're braking late in this car everywhere or not at all, which is unusual for Laguna Seca, but hey, it is what it is. It's an N100 car with a mini hybrid in there as well in terms of a little bit of a boost there. So we'll continue on out of that corner. As I don't rev at the start and you will have enough hybrid to get to the end. It's coming up here. It's flat out, as I said. So literally just turn in and look at this, 4th gear. Now keep it in 4th gear up the hill, especially in time trial. You will lose speed going to 5th. Stay in 4th gear. That's all you need to do. As we head towards the corkscrew, I've highlighted the number 3 here, but it's actually after the number 3. But that's sort of your marker to say, okay, I'm going to brake in a second. And as you approach the crest of the hill, that's when you brake, okay? So here we go. And then drop to 3rd gear. And you notice how everyone cuts it a little bit tight there. And then I short shift here when I don't need to. But obviously, I'm so used to short shifting for the corkscrew. And that's the penalty you get for cutting it tight at the chicane. Be careful. So you lift through that corner a little bit. Let's get to this corner. This corner is normally a lift, but we're right behind somebody here, so we've got to be careful. So there's not a lot of braking in this at all. As we head towards this last corner, this is a brake marker, of course. And again, we're looking for that number 2. We're trying to brake as close to that as possible. If you could brake on it, my word, you're braking very well indeed. But the Spaniard is to my left here, and they're going to have a bit of a weird spike here. Look at this. Boing. And then suddenly, I'm going to enable my hack because I'm going to make them disappear. And there we go. Nice and easy. I'll tell you how to do that in a future video, maybe. Who knows? No, I'm joking. They quit the race for whatever reason. But we finished there in P5. They get more of a DR hit because they quit the race. Don't know why they did that. But that is it for that race. I'm not fond of this race. It's hard to race at all here. It was line astern for most of it, so I wouldn't recommend it, personally. But race B, I would recommend, actually, because it's quite an intense track. So let's head there now. Welcome then to Sardegna, specifically layout B, and specifically in reverse. Now, I love this track. It's very challenging, and it has some really nice corners in it. And we are in Group 3 as well, which makes a car choice quite interesting. We'll get onto that in a second. Let's have a look at the race details then. We're racing 5 laps here at Sardegna B2. It's a rolling start, but you all start on the start-finish straight, nice and easy. And we are on the racing medium tyres. Now, as I say, car choice is interesting. A little bit of power is needed in parts of this circuit, and a little bit of handling is needed as well. So I chose the RCZ because it's a good, stable MR car. If you go for an unstable MR car, you're really going to struggle here because it's got lots of undulations. What do I mean by that? Ups and downs, ups and downs. If there's lots of that, unstable MR cars like the Lamborghini are not going to be good. The Supra was up there as well, of course. It always is. But I'm the RCZ. And that's what we're going to go with. Huge shout out to Mungino from Driver's Room for this livery. It's a lovely looking livery. It's one we've used nearly all the time in terms of GT Sport. Let's jump to the race then and let's have a look exactly what happened as well as a race guide as well. Here we are then at the start. Look at that McLaren there. Blue Racer. Shout out to you. Mr. Hippo as well. We've not raced Hippo in ages. I'm amazed you're not in a Peugeot though, mate. In an Alpha 4C. Mixture of all sorts here for Group 3. I say go with a stable car. That is going to be your best bet for this track. You should be able to have some good races here. In terms of there's some good overtaking spots. It's very hard to get right. So there'll be lots of mistakes as you will see during this race. So we kick off then. P14. And we're going to be catching up to the big Nico very, very quickly. And we see, up at P13. Somebody decided they didn't want to start. Or give us an advantage. I'm not sure which. As we head towards turn 1 then. Very hard to get right this corner. I will explain in the guide how to do it properly though. Through there we go. And we're sort of looking behind Big Nico. Can't make the move just yet. Not a corner I would brake for, but Nico decides to brake for it. And into this double right-hander. You sort of don't go for the first apex, but you do go for the second. I'll explain that later on. This corner, so hard to get right. Very difficult corner to get right. As you see there, somebody off to the realms. That was Cristante. Unfortunately, the Italian gone to the realm. So I knew I was quicker than Nico here. So I was thinking, okay, I'm going to go for the move into this left-hander. Didn't realize how early everybody was braking here. Everyone brakes really early. I nearly pile into, I can't even pronounce that name, Nitsa there. Fortunately, they saw me coming, so really good awareness by Colin Nitsa there. But we do get the position all the same. Job done. And I did make the corner. It was easy on the curve there. It was just a bit weird that everyone broke so early, but start of the race, I should have expected it. We continue on then through the right and then into the left. And then we're getting very close here. Now, some of you may be wondering, Why am I not on my TCR account? It's not even leveled up yet, so I will be leveling it up soon as we pass Toyota Sean. So TCR, Tidgney Community Racing, has just been started. Do check out the video at the end of this one if you want to join the team, of course. And everybody is welcome as we pass that P15 driver once again. Technically, we've lapped somebody. So coming into here, the Spaniard here makes mistakes, but then keeps it on the exit. I was a bit frustrated with that. So they made a mistake. Good sportsmanlike stuff to wait up for the driver, but I'd have maybe carried on and gone to the right, let the driver come on there. So I accidentally hit them because I wasn't expecting the car to just stop there. Nico goes for a lunge and a half there. Just get it stopped. Does leave me some space as well. So fair dues with that one. And then comes across here to retake that. But there again, getting that corner slightly wrong did Nico. So we're going to look to make the same move once again up at the top of the hill. I know Nico brakes early here. I saw that on the previous lap. Come through here. A little bit of a frame freeze again. My Elgato as ill as I am, apparently. As we go into a little tap on the rear there. Just unsettled the car. But we get that job done. So up into the P9 then. The reverse curse. As we come through this right-hander. And we're now looking at Toyota Sean then. Can we get to Sean? Let's fast forward a little bit here. And we've got the run out of the last corner then. Easy run as well. With no slipstream for Sean. We're going to get this done and dusted very, very quickly. Up into that P8 position. And yeah, nice. I'll take those every day of the week. And then in we go. And we nail that beautifully. And we can continue on at racing. We've got a yellow flag here. Oh, P6 is off. Oh, he's gone. We've had the curse. Definitely gone now. And we've got Kolasnitsa coming up next. So very good awareness previously. Goes defensive here. So I was like, okay, that's fair dues. This isn't really an overtaking spot, to be honest with you. I was just going for the scare. And the scare looks like it works because they go to and try and outbrake me. Go too deep into the corner. We'll take that cursed position every day of the week. How about that, folks? Up into P6 then. And we're catching up to Lewis there. And the French driver up ahead also got a penalty. Can we catch both of these drivers? Be interesting. So coming through here then, heading down the hill. Lewis goes a little bit defensive here. No need to go defensive when I'm this far back. Loses the rear on exit. So I go around the outside. Good awareness here from Lewis. Shout out to you. Very good awareness. And we're going to get that position straight away up into P5 then. We'll take these. And there's a penalty up ahead for the French driver as well. Lewis looking on the inside. So I do give it a little bit of room there. I wasn't sure if they're going to go for the lunge or not, but they make the corner. They give me lots of room themselves as well. So really brilliant driving here from Lewis. Very much up there in terms of driver of the week this week. So fair play. Little tap there, nothing major. And we're going to overtake a Dave there as well. Up to P4 then. And we're going to go into a lap guide now. So heading in towards turn 1. What I do here is I'm looking for the start of the curve, but I'm straight line braking all the way to the corner. And you can use the grass a little bit here, and you're going to drop 2 gears. And you want to keep it around 90 miles an hour there, as I do in the RCZ. Very easy to do. So turn 2. On the right side, you've got that sort of camera post there. I lift off at that point and just turn in. Turn in, and then you can start balancing the car quite quickly. And literally, that's all you've got to do in terms of that corner. You might run a little bit wide as I do here. Just be careful of that. Heading it down towards here then. I'm a little bit wider here, but on the right side, you've got that barrier change. So that's my initial marker. I'm braking just after that. I'm not going to hit the first apex. I want to go out wide to get a good run for the second apex. So I clip that second apex. I continue on the 3. So down the hill then, on the left-hand side, you've got the barrier change once again. That is what I'm using as a marker. I can go a little bit further here in terms of braking, but remember, downhill braking, the further you brake later, the much more you'll go deeper, so be careful of that. Make sure you clip the inside curb, and make sure you use all of the outside track there. Turn too much, you'll get loads of oversteer, as you saw Lewis get on the previous lap. Head up the hill, this is a great corner, and you can really nail it right. So use the barrier color change there on the right side where it starts to go white, red. Really good marker to use here. And you can really chuck it in. Remember, the camber is going to help you here massively. So you use that. Clip the apex a little bit later on if you can. Then accelerate through on the exit. On the right side then, you've got that orange barrier. That's what I use for this right-hander. Always used it in any car. It's a very good marker here. And you want to sort of go for an outside line and then come in tight later on. So notice here, I'm coming in tight. I don't quite clip the curb, but that's fine. Be careful on exit. Look how close that barrier is to the circuit. Just be careful. Through these corners then, it's just a slight lift then through there. You're sort of planning yourself to get on the far left here. And then right at the end of the curb there, that's your brake marker here. Brake, I come down to second gear. You're going to have to be careful on exit as well. If you use too much of that curb on the exit, you will get a penalty. But you clip the inside and accelerate through the corner. It should have good balance, the RCZ. Super may get a little bit oversteery. Just be careful there. And that is a lap here at Sardegna, B in reverse. In fact, this is going to be the fastest lap of the race as well. So you get to see that from me. I really love the circuit. It's a really, really good circuit. Do check this race out. I think this is one of the best races of the week. One of the best races recently as well. I think you can have some good ones here. Let's head to race C then, where we've got a little bit of strategy and a couple of cars that you can pick from. Welcome to Catalunya then for race C, and we are in Group 4 Machinery. This is a bit of an interesting one in terms of the race, but we'll get to that in just a second. Let's have a look at the race details first of all. We're racing 10 laps here at Catalunya. It's a rolling start, and we are on the racing hard tyre. A pit stop is required, but do not change those tyres. Times 1 fuel, times 2 tyre wear. That's all you need to know in terms of that. So, in terms of car choice, it's going to be the more power-hungry cars here, the ones that would eat their tyres normally. So we're looking at the Subaru WRX, the Lancer Evo, the odd FF car potentially. I went with the Ferrari, as you can see in the background, because that's just my go-to Group 4 car. It handles okay. It's got good speed. So technically, it will do all right. Huge shout out to DCS_Vicious Venom for the livery. I know you've done liveries week on week on week. And this week, it's your turn with this Ferrari livery. So do check Vicious Venom out in terms of their liveries. In terms of the race then, sorry, I'm just trying to make sure I don't cough during all this video. Let's jump to that race then. Let's have a look exactly what happens. I'll talk you through some strategy as well as a lap guide as well. Here we are then at the race start. As you see, Subarus everywhere. I do think that will be the meta car for the week, if I'm brutally honest. Lots of Megane trophies. I was very surprised at that. And you'll see why during this race, why I was so surprised. Brake balance, +1 in the Ferrari. As we've got Consta up ahead, then the Greek. Also in a Tidgney livery, so shout out for that. In fact, that could be another Vicious Venom livery, looking at it from back here. So, somebody somewhere in PD didn't look at the rolling start this week, because we start on the chicane, and the poor people behind me, they're going to fall over 2 seconds behind straight off the bat, which is a bit of a killer for them, if I'm brutally honest. But we continue on to the start, finish straight, and Consta's about to remind me to warm up my tyres, because remember, when there's tyre wear, there's tyre temps. So that's Consta weaving for me and giving me a bit of a reminder. I'm going about a bit further on here, a little bit of a frame freeze again, apologies for these. Gatto's are just as well as me apparently. But Consta gets the move done down into that left-hander, very hard to do, nails it beautifully. We look on the inside of the Spaniard, who gives me room there, beautiful racing with Zarnek, but Zarnek going to keep that position for now. So with the mandatory stop that we've got to stop at some point. Just don't change tyres. The leader already comes in here. I was like, well, it depends what people up ahead do. I knew Consta would come in, but I saw people up ahead against Consta. They came in. I was like, I don't think I want to. So I thought I'd show you the demo of why you don't use a Megane trophy, because look at this. You just go clean on by. Literally, this is the reason why you do not use this car, because each straight, you're going to get mugged by cars like the WRX, the Ferrari, any car which has even remotely a remote bit of speed. Slight tap there from the Spaniard, nothing major there. They were looking for the move, but that's not going to quite work out here. And we continue on through into P11 for now. We'll see where that actually is later on in the race as we come through here. So we drive a bit further on and we catch up to Hit Machine. And through the right-hander we go then, and that looked a bit wide to me. Let's see what happens. But they go to the right. I'm going to go to the left here, in towards the braking zone. I brake where I normally do, but then I lift off the brakes for some reason. I'm not sure why I did that. But I go a little bit too deep, which I would argue is a bit of a bad move there. But I do get it stopped, and I don't hit the Dutchman there. So, fair play, but not the greatest of moves by myself, that is for sure. As we continue on through then into P10 then, as we catch up to yet another Megane trophy. So each time I approach traffic at this moment, I'm like, do I need to pit this lap or do I carry on? Do I need to pit? And I see the Megane go in. I'm like, no, I don't need to pit. I've got a little bit of breathing room here. I can look to catch up to the Lamborghini up ahead, who's just ahead of me in slipstream. In fact, they've both got penalties up ahead here as we advance a bit further on. Let's see what happens. Oh, we got sideways Subaru. I can't get too excited because I will lose my voice again. That put the Lamborghini off and down the inside here. I wouldn't normally go for this move, but I was so far alongside it just felt the best thing to do here, because that might give me the better run on the Subaru driver up ahead here, Temp. So Temp goes towards the left, which is what I would do with a penalty as well. We go down the right hand side here and they go and become the last of the late breakers, but they do get it stopped critically, similar to my move previous. Well, they do get it stopped there, and we continue on all the same in towards this right hander then. So we are going to have a little bit of a fight here with Temp. Is that the devil on the back? I'm not actually sure on that livery. It looks quite a funny looking livery, actually, just having that above the light. But we are looking at the moment behind the Danish driver. So through we go. And it looks like it stays to go for now. I don't know what's up with the Elgato here this week. It's been very bizarre. It's the first time it's ever happened like this, but I can only apologise as we continue on. So we've got a good run here. There's nobody really up ahead of the Dane. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to go for the move here. They go towards the right, which is fair dues. I was tempted to go more to the right, but I figured they'd keep going that way. But I was clean past here, and I actually went defensive then in towards turn 1, which they accidentally hit me there. They released their brakes, expected to run through the corner a bit deeper, but that's not the way I do the corner there. But we do keep the position. So no harm, no foul. Up into the cursed one already. But of course, we've got people behind us who have already pit. It's a long pit stop as well. So we advance a few laps later. And we catch up to the battle for P3. Now, German Herman, I seem to remember this name for bad reasons. I don't know why, but I remember it for bad reasons. So at this moment, I'm like, I'm coming in the pits. I don't care. I want to get away from this. And that's unless they come in the pits, of course. Because I'll always do the opposite of somebody I don't really want to race. And I don't really want to race that driver. I can't remember the reason why, but there's something stuck in my head. Maybe you guys can remember. So through chicane we go, and I noticed they say carry on. I'm like, oh, Prince is coming in. No, they changed their mind, but they're creator. I'm going to go with creator. Somebody's told me how to pronounce this. I'm sorry. As we leave the pits here, here's an interesting strategy then. So the Megane Trophy is slow. So we get a bit of a run here, but I see Constance coming as well. So I leave room there, and then I come across. So some of you will teach you across the white line. Remember, there's no white line rule in Gran Turismo. Now, 27-second pit stop. Very long pit stops. Be careful with that. I will explain that on the lap guide as well. A little bit more of a feature. But yeah, we had an interesting overtake there out of the pit. So Constance got the penalty, of course. So Constance's going to do the exact same thing as Temp did previous. Stay towards the left. Go for that defensive line here. And it's a good defensive line. There's no way of getting that position. Constance was a bit further ahead here. And Constance's going to keep that position. At this point, I'd already decided I wanted to stay behind Consta. I didn't really want to go for a move. The WRX, in my opinion, is a slightly faster car than the Ferrari. I just don't want to keep using the same car week after week after week. Some of you are now going, Tidge, you use the Ferrari every week. Yeah, but the WRX is normally the meta car, and I don't always want to use it every single week. So I picked the Ferrari in advance anyway. Through here we go. And Consta's actually going to try and break the slipstream. Now, he'll go towards the right instantly. So I flash here at this point, and then I want the slipstream. So Consta must have seen the flash instantly, comes across here, and actually breaks away from me a little bit over the next couple of laps or so. As we come through here, Consta's gone really slow here, and then ghosted. Weird yellow flag. I don't quite get that one personally. But Consta's ghosted. So Consta's battery died on the pad. So unfortunately for Consta, we gained that position free of charge. I was supposed to have a race with Consta at the very end. Anyway, lap guide time. So heading towards turn 1. On the left-hand side, you're looking for that flag marker there. It's right above the cones, which is nice and easy. You want to brake at that moment. Some people try and brake later, but you don't want to go too deep here. It's better to take a slower first part and a faster second part here, especially in Group 4, because you're going to carry more speed. So through here we go. We're trying to get towards the left to give us a nice line for the right. Now, as we come through here, what you're looking for is that orange bit of the barrier up ahead. As that hits the center of your screen, that's when you start accelerating. Notice I've actually accelerated a bit earlier here because I've got so used to it. I actually have to lift there because I'm a bit scared, but I didn't need to in the end. So at this moment in time, if you look to the start-finish line, that's where you want to look for in terms of space in the pits if you're going to pit this lap. But you can't pit lap 10. Anyway, this corner, use the white line on the left-hand side. But if this was pit lap 9, you're going to pit, look at the marker. That's where you'll come out at, basically. So through here, I do it in second gear. Keep fairly tight and get over to the right side very quickly here. And on the right side, you've got that building there, the toilets, as people call them. Now, I use that as a marker. So as that hits the edge of my screen, that's when I'm going to brake. That is my brake marker here. And we're going to drop to second gear. And you want to clip the curb if you can. It will rotate you a little bit. I don't quite do it this time, but nice and easy in the Ferrari Group 4 car to just plant your foot and off you go. Heading towards this left-hander then. At the start of the curb here is when you're going to start braking. Notice I've just gone on the brakes right now. Don't go too far wide here. You'll clip the grass like we saw with the Subaru early on and get a load of oversteer. Just keep it safe here. Just use that as a marker. Clip the curb on your inside. Be careful about running too wide there. You'll get a penalty. As you see, the driver ahead has a penalty. And then we're going to head towards this right-hander. You want to take a wider line initially in it. It's very easy to turn early here. So turn after the end of the curb here. Okay, turn after and lift. Clip the curb later on then, and then accelerate through the corner. You will carry more speed that way. Too many people, including myself sometimes, turn too early. I've got to lift for a lot longer and don't carry as much speed. This left-hander, we're using the flag marker on the right-hand side there. So it's just before the 100-meter board. It's a very nice marker to have. It's only in this game as well, weirdly. I don't quite understand that, but hey, it's a nice marker to have. I dropped a first gear in the Ferrari. So through there we go. A little bit of oversteer, but nothing major. We're going to go straight across here, and then you're just going to dab the brake a little bit into here. So you're just bouncing the car at this point, and you're looking for that there, that sausage there. So when that leaves your screen, this is basically the center of the corner. This is your apex marker. So as you get to that point, you can accelerate through the corner, and you will make the corner. Keep that in mind. A good accelerating marker there. A brake marker for this, those time marks as they clip the red and white curb in. That is my brake marker here. And then I want to sort of abuse the sausage curb a little bit. So I kind of clip it to try and get round and accelerate towards here. The shadow. I've not highlighted this. Very easy marker. The shadow. I'm braking just before the shadow. And basically what we want to do is I want to get the sausage curbs on both parts of the chicane in the center of the car. So that's what I try and do here. It gives me a good line for this one. I can accelerate really quickly then through the corner. And then it's flat out for this last corner. And that is a lap guide of Catalunya. That is the race in a nutshell. So do make sure... Oh, we finish in the cursed position. Of course we do. Oh, no, we don't. That's the reason why. I thought that was a bit unusual. German, Herman, and Temp did a pit. I'm looking for them. So we actually finished in P4. So the curse is removed. Pick when you pit based on traffic ahead or traffic behind if you wanted to slow somebody up. Do not pit just randomly out the blue and go, I'll pit on this lap. Because you want to get the best out of the strategy. And that is the strategy here. Pick the best lap for you. That is it then for this week's weekly race guide. I do hope you enjoyed it. Again, apologies for the voice. I can't do anything about that. Hopefully, I'll be mended next week. 2 videos there to check out. Do make sure you check out the new community team that we have created, TZR. You can join it. Just check out that video for more information. There's my logo to subscribe to the channel. Do give it a like on the way out. Thanks very much once again, and hopefully see you in another video or live stream very soon.